The future that many of us envisioned as a child is already here. Technology is freeing us from work and improving our health and longevity. And the future that we now envision holds even greater promise. Now ask yourself two questions. Are you doing what makes you happy? Are you giving your children the tools and skills they need to succeed in an increasingly competitive world? In this video, I'm going to give you some special gifts that will help you reach your goals and stop all the second guessing and doubting. And what makes these gifts so special is that we can give them again and again, and each time we do, we grow stronger together. It's a little intoxicating, but entirely legal. I'm author Andy Brown, and you're watching The Mindset of Greatness. Our seventh and final mystery of life is raising great kids. First, a quick review. The Mindset of Greatness is a simple methodology for focusing the power of the subconscious mind on developing our strengths and passions. It consists of 7 categories of thought, the mysteries of life, which are common awarenesses that are misunderstood and undervalued, yet incredibly powerful, and not very mysterious after all. Mastering any one eliminates the fear of becoming who we were meant to become, hones our observational skills, adds clarity to our decision-making, and instills a strong sense of self-worth to help us deal with the challenges ahead. The mysteries of life make learning easier, better, faster, and more rewarding, and help children reach their potential. The beauty of this method is that everything we need to succeed is already inside us. All the inwards, intuition, insight, inspiration are in there. And now we're going to build on that foundation. These ideas work equally well for the adults watching this video. Giving a child a good start in life is the most important job the average person does in their lifetime. The greatest philanthropy begins at home by giving well-raised children to society. That's how important it is. Unfortunately, the biggest problem facing many children is their parents. Many parents struggle with their responsibilities and have a limited understanding of how to raise children. Logically, then, the way to raise better children is to better educate their parents. But the body of knowledge that parents need to raise children today has long been available. No, the bigger challenge is to get weak and uninformed parents to identify with the value that they have not previously identified, and then change their behavior so they are willing to invest in it. Fortunately, the fix is simple. A proven way to change behavior is to incentivize our actions with something that we actually desire to have. And what we desire to have is a more rewarding parent-child relationship for both sides. And in language you've heard before, desire creates energy to do the things we want. And what we want most from the parent-child relationship is joy. I want to be perfectly clear. Children are not the problem. In fact, they provide the opportunity. There is no time where the human brain is more plastic and able to learn than in early childhood. The plastic nature of a child's mind is our opening, the golden door to raising emotionally secure and intellectually capable children with a caring and sharing attitude and a passion to follow their dreams. And we can do that by giving them several gifts. Let's unpack it. The first gift we want to give a child is intellectual curiosity. It's the universal guide to discovery and problem solving. Intellectual curiosity stimulates enthusiasm, which heightens our experiences and generally makes life more interesting and more rewarding. You've probably heard the wonderful William Blake poem, Auguries of Innocence. Here are the first 4 lines. To see a world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wildflower. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour. But we only need the first line. To see a world in a grain of sand. It contains a fundamental truth, and that's our cue to go to the beach. Wow, there's a lot of sand here. It's easy to love the simple pleasures of the beach. Schlepping babies in cribs and ice chests, walking on hot sand, and drawing in the wet stuff. building sandcastles with your child. Let's not forget sand in our food, sand in every crevice. There's also a hidden world waiting to be discovered. Pick up a handful of sand and let it fall through your fingers, and something amazing happens. With no wind, it falls straight down. But with a wind, it fans out and disperses in relation to the force of the wind. The first condition is governed by gravity. The second by a combination of gravity and particle dynamics. Don't forget material composition and 3D patterning. In photomicrography might reveal fractal structures and other characteristics. For children, life is a laboratory of learning opportunities, and intellectual curiosity helps them discover the possibilities in the smallest things. But curiosity and enthusiasm must be fed to survive and nourished to flourish. They and they alone are catalysts to the spirit of discovery and the answer to all questions beginning with why. Why, then, are they not possessed in equal measure by all? Or are they? They are. I told you earlier that the mysteries of life hone our observational skills and expand our awareness. The more observant we become, the greater our reward, and the greater our reward, the more we have to celebrate. Remember that? Observe and celebrate. The mindset of greatness is a course of study for developing intellectual curiosity. It's my gift to you, and now yours to give away. Each of us has numerous gifts to give if only we take the time to give them. Let's identify a few more. I think we can all agree it's highly desirable to be doing what we love to do. We can give that gift to our children. They say that love makes the world go round. They're wrong. It's actually self-esteem. High self-esteem can help you overcome problems that would otherwise overcome you, just as believing in yourself can result in others wanting to believe in you. Now, we've talked about the importance of words, which is all forms of communication, and the ability to reprogram our life. But it's actually much easier to program a child correctly from the start. And the way to do that is with self-esteem. So how do we give a child high self-esteem? The way to answer that question is by asking another question. Will your child remember your best voice? The single most important gift we give a child is their voice. A person's voice is their primary conduit to most interactions in life. The child's voice begins to form at birth, hearing the way we talk, the tone, the caring, the knowledge. Our voices help them form their voice and their view of life. Our children will carry our voices inside them their entire lives. And these voices, our voices, are the building blocks of self-esteem and passion and creativity. Now ask yourself this question, and ask it often. Are these the voices you want them to remember? But let's not stop there. We can armor plate their self-esteem by doing a few simple things. Number 1, make your child feel lovable and good. Number 2, pay attention to them and really listen and remember what they said. Number 3, even when you don't find them perfect, accept them for who they are. I'll let you work out the obvious meaning of items 2 and 3. But item 1 requires an explanation. Sometimes we are not who we think we are. Sometimes we are more the way others see us, and we allow ourselves to be defined by them. Children are often incapable of seeing themselves as they really are, whether it's body image or social skills or intellectual development. And if not addressed, the lack of a secure personal identity can have damaging results. But we can win this battle for our children. Here's what we need to do. As children develop, it's important to help them visualize who they are and who they want to become on a regular basis. This means being there for them and taking an interest in what they care about. We also want to give them a detailed and defensible view of who they are. I'll explain. We can build We can build stronger self-esteem in children by making them aware of their accomplishments through detailed and defensible real-time examples that cannot easily be undone by the actions of others. Here are 3 examples of telling a child that he or she is lovable and good. You always help your little sister with her homework, without anyone asking, even when life is crazy. She loves you for it, and so do I. The police called to tell me that you turned in a wallet with a lot of money in it. They said that's really uncommon and honorable, and they praised you for it. I'm really proud of you, son. The manager at the senior home called to tell me the residents really love you. He marveled at your patience at hearing the same story over and over and over again. His words, not mine. That's real compassion, honey. Now, all things being equal, the children in the above examples are likely to be pretty confident in their self-worth, even when faced with a hot-headed emotional attack like, I never loved you. I hate you. You're worthless. It's almost comical. Now compare that to a child that receives little or no recognition or praise, but to be fair, receives an occasional I love you, and then is subjected to a senseless and cruel attack. For without the self-confidence that comes from being made to feel lovable and good, that child will be hurt and filled with self-doubt. Without making a child feel lovable and good, the words I love you can be in vain. So who are we and who do we want to become? Empower your child with self-esteem. Perhaps it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. Let the way you live your life show your child the way to live theirs. Now, it's time to toss the notion of quality time and start spending more average time with our kids. They'll grow up better for it, and here's why. Many parents have embraced the idea of scheduling quality time with their kids, but even our best laid plans can fall victim to the demands of modern life. And when that happens, it frequently leads to disappointment in the child and parental guilt. And then the cycle resets. We make our best apologies and reschedule. There is no guarantee that scheduling quality time will result in quality experiences. The only guarantee we have is that in the larger amount of average time, there will be some quality time. We all hope for that. Nothing can take the place of being involved with our kids and sharing the formative experiences that can happen unexpectedly and unscheduled. So parental guilt, let it go. Show them you care by being there. There's another upside to spending more time with our kids. By giving the gift of ourself, the essence and spirit of who we are, our inner resources, to those we care about, we can experience true immortality in our lifetime. This is how the soul survives life's transitions, so pass it on. In this next section, I give you short takes for better parenting. Incorporating several into your daily life will add richness to the parent-child relationship. I want to begin with a personal story. We did everything possible to make our children believe in Santa. The details had to be perfect. The fireplace screen left open, cookies half eaten with teeth marks, yum, an empty glass of milk. But there were challenges. When kids at school teased our oldest, we countered that Santa was pure magic and only the truest believers could see him. Tell me, what child doesn't want to believe in magic? Other holidays got equal treatment. There were elaborate letters from Essie the Easter Bunny, signed with a paw print. We still have them. Everyday events were just as theatrical. Overwrought readings of children's books, wild applause when they lost a tooth, and more silly fanfare over the Tooth Fairy's gift. And baked goods and strawberry shortcake from scratch to celebrate just about anything. Then on her 12th birthday, before starting junior high, we sat our oldest down away from the other kids and told her the truth. We said we didn't want her to be branded a baby in her new school, a label she might not outgrow. First she cried, then we cried. It's one of my fondest memories. Today, my daughter is a loving and smart adult. She's talking about starting her own family and carrying on her family's traditions. Though there's competition from her husband's family on who makes the best strawberry shortcake. Unbelievable. File that under fantasy. A little fantasy goes a long way toward raising a healthy, happy child. Fantasy is a sly wink to the subconscious mind to put reality on hold. It allows us to indulge in what ifs and all that could be's and sharpens our reasoning. Fantasy stimulates our imagination and creativity. They're different, look them up, and softens the edges of reality. Remember, a little fun brings pleasure, and pleasure brings happiness of spirit. A little fantasy enriches the family unit. We all want that. And life without a little exaggeration is boring. Got it. When your toddler falls down or gets a minor bump, give the little darling a round of applause. It's not cruel. It rewrites the code in their brain and makes them more resilient. When children are little, make an effort to add to and complete some of their sentences. This accomplishes two things. It helps them develop an awareness of language, content, and cadence, and it requires you to pay attention and really listen, which benefits any relationship. Read stories out loud to young children. Choose quality books and really ham it up. Our memories are the most valuable possession many of us have. So tell them stories about your own life and make it a fun time together. It transfers the essence of who you are for them to carry forward. That immortality thing again. Teach children good manners at an early age. Manners make us likable to others, which can lead to other opportunities. And when you don't know what to say, teach them to say thank you. Thank you is an expression of goodwill that can buy you time to formulate a more thoughtful response if needed. Expose children to lots of art. For many, art is the key that unlocks the door to imagination. And without imagination, you can expect more heavy lifting. During public events, like a movie, instruct children not to speak and don't answer their questions. It encourages them to use their mind. If it's important, they'll remember to ask afterwards. It's also good manners. Peer pressure and bullying are a fact of life. But not only are they survivable, there is an antidote, and that antidote is passion. Please review the section on passion, video number 1, and help your children to follow theirs. Celebrate a child's small successes, because in each small success is a measure of renewed hope that will help them experience their future successes in the present. The present. It's a gift. Make your child's daily activities the centerpiece of your dinner conversation. Encourage your child to participate and share their thoughts. Find opportunities to develop their self-esteem through encouragement and praise. When something bad happens, this is about minor stuff, like a bad boss day or rude people. Something breaks or gets lost or a tantrum from your 4-year-old. When that happens, try to enjoy it. Sometimes we need to be reminded that the distinct thoughts and feelings that make us human give us the capacity to endure what life brings our way. No one will doubt your pain, but they'll admire your strength. There is a connection between the place we call home and happiness. I can't overstate the importance of a safe and nurturing home environment in the formative years of a child's life. Home is where a child makes a lot of their memories. So good, bad, or indifferent, it acts as a participant, like another family member, in our subconscious. A healthy environment contributes to a happy child who is more likely to become a productive adult. Make informed health decisions for your child. This includes nutritious meals that provide energy to run on and help them resist illness too. This is the best dietary advice you'll ever get. Buy fresh, wholesome, high quality and seasonal foods and prepare them well. Simple. There's an added benefit. Good food and good conversation make for good memories. Don't try this with fast food. Should I? Walk briskly, as often as possible. It provides numerous benefits and you will slow down less as you age. Encourage children to get an undergraduate college education at the very least. An undergraduate education today is the equivalent of a high school education 100 years ago. Education allows us to better navigate modern life, and it's the pathway to a better future. Terrible phrase coming up. Luxuries can dull the senses and become a deterrent to accomplishment. Many children indulged by loving and well-meaning family lose the desire to discover for themselves what they are capable of doing. Many experience a loss of purpose and self-esteem in a materialistic society and end up living a life that has been lived before. That's enough for now. We can do better, people. We get only one chance to be a child and one chance to be a parent to that child. Now, I want to talk about the best time to introduce the mysteries of life to children, because introducing them at the right time makes receiving their gifts as natural as breathing itself. These lessons are ideally suited to a child's intellectual development in the period I call the magical years. It begins about age 3 or 4 and runs to about 7 or 8, but varies depending on the child's maturity. It's the time when kids say the most insightful things, the darndest things, and express themselves in their own unique way, and before peer pressure invades their young minds and forces them to wear the mask of sameness, which becomes difficult to remove later on. When the child is still an infant, it's important for parents to be familiar with the mysteries of life, because they improve their ability to communicate and nurture. And when knowledge is cherished in childhood, amazing things can happen. I want to address a controversial subject. When we bring a child into the world, we enter into an unspoken contract with that child, which reads, "This is your time. You didn't ask for this. We gave you life, and your needs come first now." I am urging all prospective parents to join the call for a parental fitness test, a self-evaluation to determine if they meet the minimum standards for creating and sustaining a new life. The decision to have a child today is first and foremost a commitment by the parents and their community to raise that child to the highest standards they are capable of, essentially to make the child more than they are. This includes making informed health decisions, including prenatal care. Proper health care for mother and child begins before conception. It's a simple test that all parents can aspire to. What the world needs now is better prepared children with a desire to create their best future. There's a baby elephant in the room. Having a baby continues to be a biological imperative for many. Girls who are not prepared to be mothers are having babies. And often they are wanted pregnancies, and often for the wrong reasons, when in fact many of these would-be mothers would be happier if they didn't have children. We'll have an opportunity to continue this conversation when I introduce you to my Inspire the World project, coming up soon. I want to briefly recap the mysteries of life and add a few new insights. Words are coding for the way the mind works. It includes all forms of communication, language, ideas, images, and makes the knowledge in our heads searchable. From knowledge comes respect, and from respect comes tolerance, and from tolerance the hope we must give the needy to triumph over hardship and dream of what is possible. And in the beginning of knowledge is patience. Words have an energy of creation, but also the power to destroy. Time is for doing. Doing defines the person, and it's in the act of doing that we determine our own success. New experiences expand our perception of time, so we can do more of the things we want. We are all judged by how we use our time, and what we leave behind is our legacy. Every whole person is born with genius potential. Genius is doing something original, doing it exceptionally well, and being recognized for it. Genius is obsessive in nature. A synonym for genius is imbalance. Discovering what you're capable of doing begins with falling in love with your mind. And when you do something you love, work ceases to be work and becomes play. So it's not if you can become a genius, it's how hard are you willing to work to become one. And this simple guidance: learn to make stuff and do it well, because the rewards of an original life are great. Art is no longer just the stuff in stuffy art books, or just a visit to a museum, or just a subject for a polite conversation. The new and more relevant definition of art is excellence. Excellence of the possible. Even food can be art. Here's one. In the beginning of knowledge is patience. Butterflies, for me, have come to represent the power of what is possible. For what egg-hatched caterpillar could ever know that a crawler would one day fly and defy gravity? We all have limitations that we must learn to accept, but the trick is to accept them as beginnings and not endings. There are no boundaries you can't go beyond. There are just starting points for improvement, and no hurdle will stop you unless you refuse to jump it. When we include art in our life, something wondrous happens. Art inspires us by showing us how we are alike, one race, the human race, helping us to celebrate our differences. The power of believing in something deeply enough can make almost anything possible. Belief is courage, the courage to live your life and your vision by your convictions, the courage to feel worthy of the life you choose, the courage to give yourself permission to learn, permission to change, and permission to grow. Belief is the courage to be yourself. Most people would change something in their life if they could. We can reprogram our reality by keeping our words, ideas, and actions consistent with our goals. Now, if we accept that what we believe to be true is our reality, then it's also true that no single vision for a better future can meet the needs of everyone. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that there are a lot of people living in different realities. Each of us is unique and thinks a little differently from the next guy. That means the way to have the greatest impact in your life is to make your reality compatible with the reality of others. It gives you the best chance of getting what you want in life, unless you're prepared to challenge the status quo. You're ready. There's one more gift I have for you. Remember I told you that inspiration is the whisper of a divine or supernatural force. Inspiration creates desire, and desire creates energy to do the things we want. In other words, it causes us to take action. True inspiration is actually a form of giving. And giving, or gifting, is a transfer of energy that results in a positive reward for both parties. The following examples share something in common with the mysteries of life. See if you can find it. Each of us possesses personal gifts of caring, conscience, and character that are most valuable when given away. When we do what we love to do, we will give everything to it. Think passions. It's been shown that those who give more also receive more, and they grow personally as a result of giving. This includes tangible and intangible rewards like increased opportunities, renewed energy, and an enlarged sense of meaning in your life. One more. those who give the most joy win the race of life and become our heroes. How are these related to the mysteries of life? In each case, giving involves taking action. I told you earlier that inspiration is already inside you, and we must learn to find it. It's what we care about most, the things that attract us the most and give meaning to our life. The secret that all great people share is the ability to tap into their inspiration source, because they know who they are. They know what they want to do and have to do, and also what makes them happy. That's what it means to be inspired. Does it sound familiar yet? A Carolina bell should be ringing in your ears right now. Let me be perfectly honest. All this time I've been teaching you the powerful language of inspiration. In other words, developing a mindset of greatness is identical to learning how to tap into your inspiration source. Let that sink in. This deception was necessary. I'll tell you why. The misdirection of the media in using the word inspiration to mean anything they want it to mean, and as a catch-all for their consumer nonsense, has caused people everywhere to look for inspiration in all the wrong places. Now, tearing it down would be messy, and the misdirection would just continue. But by redefining the central components of inspiration as common awarenesses, we turn them into living memory, so you will always remember them. A simple 7-piece puzzle, and you only have to play one piece. Now think back on what we've done on this journey. We began with the energy of creation in words, and discovered that we can expand time by doing more of the things we love. Ingenious begins with falling in love with your mind. Art is excellence of human endeavor, and like ice cream, we don't have to hate the other flavors. Belief is giving yourself permission to change and grow to become the person you want to be. And we can make anything we desire real by reprogramming our life. And by giving our children the numerous gifts we each possess, we teach them how to find their own. Because being successful at being yourself eliminates all the competition. This brings us full circle. Mastering the mysteries of life teaches us to speak the language of inspiration. And now you know. When my children were born and I first held them, I felt like I was holding the world in my hands, all creation and all potential. And I desperately wanted to give them a better world to live in. And I've always been a dreamer. And I believed then, as I believe now, that I have an equal right or ability to make a difference as anyone who's ever lived, and that my desire to leave a better world to my children is my birthright. And while I was doing it for them, I was also doing it for all the children of the world. I believe we hold the future of the world in our hands, and it's our responsibility to nurture and care for it. Now, you may not know it, but you're here for a reason. I can't change the world alone, so I'm getting a lot of people to help me do it. And because you watch these videos, I'm pretty sure you want the same thing I do. So I've come up with a plan to help each other. I'm working on a project that I hope will have a positive impact on all our lives. My Inspire the World Foundation will bring artists together from around the world to share ideas and inspirations, then seed those lessons back into society. Along the lines of a good news station, it will bring us stories of hope and perseverance and imagination and acts of conscience and caring and courage and solutions to our most urgent problems, like the economy and jobs and education. My goal is to reach every child and every adult with a simple message. Dream, believe, become, because everything is possible. Inspiration is the language that we must all learn to speak together. It can take the world from what it is to what it must become and doesn't require a line item in the national budget. Here are 2 reasons why you want to help. First, it's a chance to be part of something new and important, and important moments in history change lives. Second, your legacy. The things we do and are known for become our legacy. Here's how you can help. I'd like you to buy my book, The Best Show in Town. It's the companion work to these videos, and it will help you continue on your journey. But it's more than that. Based on an ancient legend that was thought to hold the key to unlocking our potential, it's a powerful parable of love, loss, and redemption that teaches us to follow our dreams, because only those who dream can make their dreams come true. If you liked A Christmas Carol or The Wizard of Oz, then I think you'll love my book. Buying on my website is easy and safe. You'll receive an email with simple instructions for downloading and emailing copies to family and friends. Book sales will help fund my Inspire the World Foundation. So go here, thebestshowintown.ebook.com, no hyphens, no spaces. You'll be glad you took this important step. Follow me and watch it grow. In these videos, I tried to help you experience what it's like to live the life you always wanted. Creating an original life is the best feeling there is because you're really alive. And the rewards are too great to let someone else define you. So remember, today is day one and today is different. Now go out and inspire your children to believe in what they can create and become the creative leaders of tomorrow. I'm author and futurist Andy Brown, and you have been inoculated with simple ideas that inspire positive change on the mindset of greatness. This video is dedicated to my Ramona, friend, partner, and inspirer. Copyright 2017, Puzzleman Publications, LLC.